I just said we would talk about him. Let's talk about Garrett Wilson next here. Wide receiver for the New York Jets, and very, very injured season here for Garrett Wilson in New York in an absolute dumpster fire of a situation, which has been the story of his career up to this point. He re-signs in New York, and we think that Garrett Wilson could have hit the free agent market and gone to a different situation where he could have been an absolute fantasy football superstar. Chooses to resign in New York, gets a ton of volume over the first 6 weeks of the season, and has a few decent, solid fantasy performances in there. Wide receiver 6 fantasy finish in week 1, week 3, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 11 in week 4. Wide receiver 4 finish in week 3, wide receiver 11 finish in week 4, wide receiver 10 finish in week 5, and then wheels fall off, gets injured, tries to come back off the bye week, gets injured again, and misses from week 11 on. So now the question just becomes, who is the quarterback in New York? Who's the quarterback going to be that's going to elevate Garrett Wilson and his talent level to be able to be a fantasy viable wide receiver and consistent wide receiver? They're picking towards the top of the draft. Does Dante Moore, the quarterback out of Oregon, does he come out? Is that a situation where it elevates Garrett Wilson? Do they take a swing at trading for a quarterback this offseason? Is that a situation where New York could start to get involved in that and utilizing the draft capital that they have and taking a major swing to get a quarterback that becomes available on the trade market? Did they go into the free agent market? I don't think they're going to move forward with Justin Fields, with Tyrod Taylor. I think they're done with this. I think they're done with the quarterback carousel, and they're going to try to elevate. This may be one of the last opportunities to go get Garrett Wilson before he truly explodes. The value, I think, is at an all-time low for Garrett Wilson and the public perception of Garrett Wilson. That's sort of the argument here. There's not really a ton of stats that you can look at and say Garrett Wilson excelled in this area just because the quarterback play was so bad, but yet the volume was there to offset that. And again, 4 top 12 finishes in the first 6 weeks of the season, I'll take that with terrible quarterback play. If he can get reliable, steady, consistent quarterback play, I think we see Garrett Wilson just absolutely explode back up into that top 8 in the Dynasty wide receiver conversation. Right now, he hangs out at wide receiver 14 in my Dynasty rankings, just a little bit lower than where he was last year.